Martenson with Conversations with Cupid and Karen Dahlman, Ouija board expert. How you doing, Karen?
I'm doing great, Marla. Great to be here. So
All
much
right.
fun.
Well, we're answering two questions today because we've got a lot of viewer questions, and this is fantastic. We love it. We love people inquiring about the Ouija board. We're breaking all the myths and busting down those walls about Ouija boards being dangerous, and we want everybody to just embrace it if you have the interest, and if you have any questions, we're here to help because we love the board, and we get a lot of messages on there. So we've got a viewer question from a guy called Patrick. Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Hi, Patrick.
Okay, Patrick says, how do you ensure trust and honesty when working with a partner or in group sessions? Take it away, Karen.
Great question. Yeah, great question, Patrick, because we do want to know that we can trust. Trust is a big element of doing the board work. It's a big element of opening up and being receptive to the messages, because you have to build a trust another person in a partnership when you're doing the board, or if you end up doing the board in group sessions. Many of you know that I host open message circles, and Marla attends as well, and a few others that we know. And we have to build trust everybody in that room to be safe as well. And I have to trust my partner, that my partner I'm working with is not going to be pushing the planchette, is not going to be influencing it on some kind of conscious level. Subconsciously, you don't know what's going on there because we don't really know about the EDM motor effect and how all that plays into it. But we want to know that we can trust this person, that they'll be safe with our messages, number one, when the messages come through. Number two, they're not going to push it. Number three, they're gonna be as open as they can and be comfortable to come to the session and the table with you to do this work. Because if anybody's holding kind of resentment towards you or towards the other partner, animosity, or if they're sick and they're not telling you, that's going to influence the messages. So I say, when you do this work with somebody you kind of know or probably know. I mean, you might have met somebody and you want to do Ouija. Maybe wait till you get to know the person a little bit more. You know, feel them out like you do in life. You don't just let anybody come into your house and just move in. You take time to get to know somebody. The same thing here. So your partner, you want to know the person, that their intentions. You want to know that they're coming about using this board like you are, to explore, to experience, to experiment, to also receive information and wisdom and guidance, and that they too will support you to receive your messages. And you build a trust there. Now, how do you know when that trust is built? It's up to you. Only you will know. You will know your comfort levels. Don't sit down to the board with anybody if you're not comfortable with it, because that will block the ability for them to come through at the highest vibration you want.
And if somebody's doesn't believe it, like I did try months ago, my husband doesn't believe it at all, but he did months ago sit down with me to do it, to give it a shot, and of course it didn't move because he doesn't believe it, and so then he won't do it again. Or if somebody's there that's trying to prove it doesn't work, or is skeptical, or is doing it like, prove it, that's not a good energy to bring either, I think.
No, and that goes back to the whole group influence, as Marla's talking about. It could be the individual you're doing it with, how they influence it, their beliefs, their intentions, what they think about it, as well as the group people in the room. I've been in situations where somebody walks in the room and I'm having great messages, and all of a sudden, halt.
Oh.
It stops. And people say, why did that happen? And I know why it happened. Somebody walked in who was just very uneasy with it, possibly, or negative, or didn't want it to happen. And so in those cases, it's best just to put it away. Mm-hmm. If you're in a group setting, I invite people to the sessions that I know, and I know where they are using this work, and they want to explore, experiment. Healthy skepticism is always good, but they're not trying to control it or end it or denounce it. And that's important too. And that's for me to know that as the person who holds these sessions, I'm responsible to make sure that everybody that's coming there is open to doing this so we can get positive messages. And also, you won't hear me sharing these sessions unless in general terms. I won't say people's names either. And even my books, I change people's names just because I know a lot of people want anonymity. They want to not be known. Sometimes it's private, personal stuff. So we have to learn to just trust that, trust the people that are there, that they want that, and offer that to them. And as you begin to build this trust with yourself with this tool, the trust for the people you use this tool with, the trust of the people that enter your circle when you do this work, you will find that the board and your communication through the board will work that much more. And it's all about you. Oh, it's all about you.
It's all about you. Awesome. Well, we have another one more question here from Chris. And it says, perhaps more about solitary use of the Ouija when you have no one else to use the board. And then we covered a little bit of that in another video, but we can talk about that a little bit more for Chris Walker. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Well, Marla, you use the board alone. Tell us what you think about that.
Yeah, I was so excited. So the first time I used it, I don't know if it was about a year and a half ago, was with my friend Julie. Hey, Julie. I love you,
Hi, Julie.
Julie and I got some amazing messages from angels, and it was so exciting. And Julie lives pretty close to me, but you know, she's a busy woman too, and I can't be calm. I was like so excited. This was like the most exciting thing that ever happened to me in my life, being connected to my angel and being able to ask Mirth, my angel's name's Mirth, questions. And so Julie'd come over like once a week because we go to classes together, and we have a great time. And after our whatever class it was on, it could have been tarot or breath work or whatever, we'd come to my house and use the board. Now, I wanted to talk to my angel more than once a week, and Julie wasn't always available, and I didn't want to bug her and say, hey, can you come over here? I need to. So I thought, God, if I could just use it alone. And I was trying to Google some videos about Ouija board. Wasn't many, so I'm glad we're doing this for people. And so I thought, I'll just try it, keep trying it on my own. Nothing was happening. Now, in the meantime, I didn't and they did tell me it was energy. I said, why can't I do it? And they said, you will, but it's energy. So I thought, well, how long is it going to take for my energy to get going? In the meantime, not knowing that this was going to help, I was getting attuned to Reiki. So I'm Reiki 2 practitioner. I got attuned with something called the Reconnection, which is another attunement for energy work. I also got attuned for life force energy healing, and then doing some meditation, and then giving energy work on people. So I had a lot of energy coming through. So I give sessions. If anybody's in LA or California, come on in for energy healing with me. It's fantastic. So all of this was opening up my energy and opening me up. And all of a sudden one night, because I only would give it about 5 minutes, I didn't have a lot of patience, and I'd sit there and I'm like, it's not working. I'll try it again. So I sat there one night, it started to move. And it was moving, and ever since then, it's just flying. I can go on there immediately. It'll start moving, just right away. I mean, I was thinking last night because I thought, well, what are these people these spirits, angels, just waiting here, right? You know, they're just like, woo, they're there. And I love using it alone. Some people will say you shouldn't, but I have never had a negative experience. It's always wonderful, positive messages. I do protect my space. I do have a lot of angelic presence. My space is high vibration because I do all my meditations and energy and prayer work here. But I can do it anywhere. I've done it at the airport. I can pull out a piece of paper, write down the alphabet, and I can do it. I don't even need a planchette because Karen told me that she knew somebody was just using their finger, and the energy will come through and go through my finger and move it. So I do love doing it on my own, but if you're hoping to do it, realize that it could take a long time for it to happen, and the secret to it is the energetic openings.
Yeah, and those who know me have always heard me say, I don't recommend doing it by yourself. However, everything Marla said is absolutely exactly what you should be practicing to do it on your own. Again, it's not coming to the board to rely on these answers. It's coming to yourself and getting to know who you are. I always call it your greatness within, getting to know your empowerment within. And therefore, when you're doing this energetic work on yourself outside of the board sessions, you bring that to the table. And that can allow you to be protective in your space. It can allow you to be more centered in your space, allow you to allow these energies to connect with yours to help it work. So it was 39 years when I started using the board by myself. And all those years before, I didn't even feel the need to, because I had such great partners. And so I spent the time doing it in partnership. The main reason, and people write to me all the time about using the board alone, the main reason I say not to is because I think some people, when they're new at this, it's the only thing they're doing outside of the ordinary. It's the only thing they're doing outside of the realm of, let's go into the other dimensions, as opposed to doing their own personal work. And what I see happen is it becomes an obsession about it, overzealousness about it. And what that does is it kind of makes you rely on it and connected too much to using it. And that's part of what gives the Ouija a bad rap. That's part of it, not all of it. If we become too reliant on any one tool, not ourselves. So if Marla's doing it in a very safe way, I've been around her doing it. I've watched her do it. In fact, I promote her doing it the way she uses it because I see how she uses it. It's a really nice connection. But then Marla does all this work on herself. And so 3 years ago, I started using it by myself. I can do it by myself. But my thing has always been preferably in groups or with another person. And it tends to work best for me that way. And I guess I'm probably the most comfortable that way. But listen, a lot of people are alone in terms of doing this tool. And Chris, you may be one of those. And so if you have all your other elements in place to your spiritual practice, yes, go right ahead. This is no different than doing automatic writing. Is when you have a planchette like this, and there's a pencil that goes in there and you write.
Yes.
Or you just hold a pencil in your hand. Or like you said, Marla, the whole idea of having your finger that moves, like a keyboard. People do automatic writing on keyboards.
Yeah,
This is no different. So it's no different than operating a K2 meter in investigations or a Frank's box. So why do we put the stigma on Ouija? Because we want to make it spooky.
Yes, because even if
It's
anyone's
not.
familiar with Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote Conversations with God,
Yes.
that was automatic writing, channeling, and so he was writing it. And I do feel the board is like automatic writing. It's coming through you and going to the letters. So yeah, there shouldn't be any stigma around Ouija board. Any kind of delving into the occult can result in something negative happening if you are in that negative space. If you're using drugs or alcohol, if you're depressed, if you're sick, if you are inviting those lower energies in, if you are a lower vibrational person, angry or anything like that. So be careful in any of it. It's not just the Ouija board. Anything can bring that in. So it's really, like you said, up to you. These things are it's just a piece of cardboard. So it's really your own vibration in whatever you
and
do.
as Marla says, she uses a piece of paper. I'll use a paper sack or back of a cardboard box from pizza. You know, we're gonna say this. It's your intention. It's your own energetic makeup and your intention. And so work on your intentions, work on your energetic makeup, and you too have every permission to be able to reach these other dimensions. And you will be met with incredible people, energies, entities, angelic beings, guardians who love you. And as Marla pointed out, she signs on and boop, there they are. Well, they're omnipresent. They're everywhere, and for those reasons, you're going to be able to tap into them. They're waiting for you to make connection. Not that this is for everybody, but if you feel called to this, really just work on your intentions, and then you can use these tools, and you can use this tool if you'd like by yourself. But just if you ever find yourself becoming obsessed with it, you want to do it all the time, at the neglect of maybe doing your studies, going to work, seeing friends, this becomes your only friend, that's never positive. It's never positive if you hide yourself away from others. Okay, so that's the key here. If it helps you promote and helps you grow and connect with others and connect with your guides and yourself, then I'm all for it for you.
All right. Thank you, Karen. And thanks, Chris, for that question.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.